Hello everybody, welcome back to Homemade. We're here in my kitchen making something from scratch. Today we're making strawberry rhubarb shortcakes. Strawberry shortcakes I've grown up with. I've grown up with strawberry rhubarb pie. Never have I combined the two together. I thought that would be a really nice little fresh dessert for summer. So we're making our own shortcake today, which is a little scary. I've never done that before. Usually baking's not my forte, so I really wanted to challenge myself with this one, walk you through it, and we'll see, hope to God, that it comes out beautiful. So get the biggest bowl that you have. Just to play it safe, because we're gonna start with the dry ingredients, and that starts with 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I bet you could make this gluten-free if you wanted to. I've never made it with gluten-free flour. It can be a little bit more tricky, or like almond flour or anything like that, but give it a try. I bet it would work. We have a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, just to sweeten that up a bit. We have 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt. Okay, right in. Then I'm just gonna whisk that up a bit. Okay, so that's good. Just nice and whisked up, nothing crazy. So for the wet ingredients, you're gonna grab another bowl. This one's a little bit smaller. I'm gonna whisk 1 egg with a teaspoon of vanilla. We're just gonna start there. Teaspoon of vanilla. And just whisk that up. Sometimes if you wait to whisk the egg until the buttermilk's in there, you'll get like uneven globs of egg, and it's just not gonna blend as well, so you like to do this part first. And then I'm just gonna add 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk. I don't know if there's variations of buttermilk. I don't really cook with it a lot or bake with it a lot, but mainly because I just don't really bake that much. And then you're gonna whisk that together. Okay, perfect. Now the key to any sort of recipe like this, whether it's a pie crust dough, shortcake, is that since it is you really want it to be nice and flaky and buttery coming out of the oven, keeping everything as cold as possible is key. And so if you're making this in the summertime or you don't get a lot of cold air in your kitchen, I recommend just putting things in the fridge in between phases here. So I'm gonna pop this in the fridge, and then I'm gonna get back to the dry ingredients here. Could you fit that in the fridge for me? So next we're gonna just add some butter to the dough. We have 2 sticks of unsalted butter, which equals 1 cup. I'm sure every baker out there knows that, but this shows how much I bake. So what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna cut it, both of them in half, and then we're gonna cut them into little cubes. Doesn't have to be too small. So now you're gonna transfer all this butter back into your dry ingredients, like this. And then you're just gonna slowly start to fold and squish the butter between your fingers like this. You're ideally trying to get them to about the size of a pea. That's the rule of thumb. You don't want them too small, you don't want them too big, because of course this is what's creating those layers and those flakes, that flakiness and the moisture in the dough. So this is the fun part, but this is the part where flour can get everywhere if you're not careful, so just be careful. This is essentially the beginning process of making a pie crust too, or a pie dough. The buttermilk mixture is what's gonna make this into the cake. So I'm preheating the oven to 425. What's great about this is that this type of dough, there's no need for it to rise or anything like that. You don't have to wait for it. So it's actually a very easy process. And then they only go into the oven for about 15 minutes or until they're golden brown, which depending on your oven might look differently for you. So this is known to be a foolproof recipe from many people, including people in my family. So I'm like, really, just we're gonna put that to the test today. And if it's not, then they've been lying to me. Okay, so we got the buttermilk mixture out of the fridge. So now we're just gonna slowly drizzle this into the dry here. And I'm gonna use a spatula because it's gonna get all over my hands eventually. So we're just gonna drizzle it a little bit like this while we're just mixing it, making sure everything is coated. This is gonna look really dry for a minute. But just trust the process. You really don't want to overwork this or else it'll ruin the shortcake. So you just want to really take your time. We're going to stir this up a little bit very gently, and then we're going to transfer it to the flat surface where we're going to shape it. Okay, here we go. These doughs are meant to be really flaky, but they look like they're going to fall apart. Just trust me. It'll all be okay. Again, I don't want to overwork it, so I'm just being really, really cautious. Add a little bit more flour. And then you're gonna knead the rest of this by hand. Whee. Sort of mold it and squish it together like this. And all that buttermilk from the liquid mixture and the butter that we put into the dry mixture is gonna start forming together. Just flattening it out a little bit. I've got this little dough cutter here. Let's just go one here. So you get little bits like this. And you can already kind of see the layering happening here. You'll definitely be able to see it more once we, after it's baked. But that is good. You can freeze this and this will last you for months, and you can just bake them again another day anytime you want. They defrost really well. It's nice to have them ready to go, so if you're ever having a last minute dessert that you want to throw together, it's already, the majority of it's done for you. I'll put 2 of these in the freezer. This next part is technically optional, but I like to do it because it just creates a really nice finish for these little shortcakes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna brush a bit of that buttermilk on top. So it'll help with it becoming really nice and golden brown. And then you're just gonna finish it off with some sugar. You can use cane sugar, but I'm using turbinado sugar, which is sort of this like unprocessed granular sugar that I like to use because it doesn't melt down the same, so you get those pretty sugar crystals on top. I love the way that looks. Done. These are going to go into the oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on them while they're in there in case they cook a little bit faster, but yeah. And while those bake, we're just going to start working on our macerated strawberries and our whipped cream. And I'm also going to make a little strawberry rhubarb jam. I made my first rhubarb jam a couple weeks ago, and it's so easy and so good, but my favorite combination in the world is strawberry rhubarb. My grandmother used to make the most amazing strawberry rhubarb pie. Everybody in my family has had it, and it was the only pie I grew up really liking because I'm not really a sweets person and I don't really like pie. But I love the combination because the rhubarb brings such a tartness to the overall taste. So for this strawberry rhubarb jam, you're just gonna start by cutting this up. I'm just gonna cut off the ends because they're a little dry and gross. You don't have to do too much to this. You're just gonna slice it pretty small. Okay, just like this. This is what it looks like if you've never seen rhubarb. I have a big bowl of strawberries here. I'm not gonna use all of these. About half of these I'm gonna macerate for some extra texture in our strawberry shortcake, but I'm gonna cut up a couple of these for the jam. These are huge. So we've got the strawberry and rhubarb combine here. I'm gonna add about a cup of sugar to this. It'll help release a lot of that water from the fruits, and it makes this really delicious, like almost syrup that'll collect at the bottom. Okay, I'm just gonna mix that up. I'm gonna set this aside for a couple minutes while I heat up the pot. This is what I'm gonna cook the jam in. And now, while I'm waiting, I'm just gonna do the slices of strawberry for the macerated strawberries. And this is the easiest part because all you have to do is slice these up any way you want. You add some sugar, and then you just let them sit, and that's it. Okay, the shortcakes are ready. I did end up adding parchment paper. It wasn't filmed. I had a panic moment that I completely forgot to line this baking sheet. So some of them are a little bit uneven because I interrupted their rising process, but some of them are great. And these oven mitts don't work at all because that was so hot. So for these strawberries, I'm gonna throw them in a little bowl, and then we're gonna add the sugar and let those sit for a moment. So grab a little bowl, add these strawberries. And then I'm just gonna add a bit of sugar, a little less than a cup, say 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup. Just drizzle that over. And then mix those up. And that's it. That's literally all you need to make macerated strawberries, because like I was saying with the jam, the sugar is gonna draw out a ton of moisture from the strawberries and make them sort of this liquid, like jammy-esque topping for our shortcakes. So now for the jam, this has been sitting for a minute. There's already a lot of moisture coming out. It's hard to see because of all the sugar at the bottom, but that's okay. So yeah, just putting these in this bowl here. All that sugar. And then we're just gonna add a little bit of lemon juice to this as well. I'm using 2 whole lemons for this. And I'm gonna add some orange zest. A little bit more. So what we're gonna do is just let this soften on like a medium to high heat till it starts to boil, and then I'm gonna reduce it down and simmer it for about 15-20 minutes, or until it gets to the texture that I want. And then once it's boiling like this, you're just gonna let it simmer. You're gonna turn it down to low and let it simmer for like 20 minutes. But check on it, stir it occasionally, but then yeah, you're gonna put it on low. And then we'll check back on this in like 15-20 minutes. Okay, so while the macerated strawberries are sitting and the shortcakes are cooling and the jam is jamming, we're gonna make a whipped cream. Super, super simple. Just grab heavy whippy creamy. You're gonna do 2 cups of whipping cream. Oh my God. Okay, 1. Oh good, I didn't even need the second carton. Perfect. 2 cups. A 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. About a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just gonna eyeball it because it's not that serious. It's probably good. You can either whisk this by hand with a KitchenAid mixer or with a hand mixer. Just be aware, this happens slowly and quickly at the same time. It'll be nothing for a while and then it'll all happen at once, so just keep an eye on it until you get to about soft peaks. You don't want to overturn it or it'll turn to butter. I'm almost there. My whole shoulder is burning. Okay, that's good. So as you can see, now we're getting a bit more. See how it's not moving or dripping? That's what I like to see. If there's any KitchenAid mixers available to me, that'd be great, but my arm is gonna look so good. My one arm this summer. Woo! These have been sitting this whole time, and so this is that liquid that I was talking about. All of those strawberries, just all of that beautiful strawberry, almost like simple syrup, It's just the moisture and the water from the strawberries with that sugar. But now with this, what we're gonna do is start assembling everything. And so as you can see, you can now see all of those beautiful layers in there. That was from gently kneading that dough. And those are those flaky bits made by the butter and the buttermilk and everything. So let's start by just lightly cutting this. Ooh, yep, look at that. Nice and soft on the inside. I'm gonna do a layer of jam, whipped cream, strawberries, that whole deal. So I'll do jam on each side. So this is that jam. It's all finished. It's still a little bit hot, but that's okay. You could strain this too if you don't like the strawberry chunks in there, but I like it like this. I think it just tastes even better. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this onto the biscuits here. Not biscuits, shortcake. Get that whipped cream. We'll dollop on each. Macerated strawberries. Oh, geez. It's okay if it gets messy because that's kind of the point of the dessert, you know? It's supposed to be a little wild and fun, nostalgic. And then we'll just put some more jam on the other side of the shortcake. More whipped cream. Whoop. A lot of whipped cream. And here we go. Does this look insane? Yum. Okay, I mean, these look crazy, but it's okay because they're just piled high. This is strawberry rhubarb shortcake dessert. Damn, it's a bit messy, but this is how they were made at home when we'd buy the store-bought shortbreads, and it's homemade, so it's not supposed to look perfect. This is exactly how I want it to look. Okay, all right, well, I'm gonna try it. See how best to get into this. I think I'm just gonna take this bit apart. There's no easy way to do this, really. Oh. Oh, that's so good. That reminds me of my childhood and making strawberry shortcake with my mom. Even though we never made it from scratch, but even the store-bought, just the same flavors, but this is obviously better. No offense, Mom. Yum. The shortcake is so flaky and light. Delicious. It's perfectly cooked. It's not too dry. Just like complimenting myself because I made it. It's absolutely perfect. I realize I've had a couple videos now without really explaining what this channel is, but my idea behind this is to show you that we no longer have to cringe or wince at the term "we have it at home," because that could give this a whole new meaning. We have it at home could mean it's even better than what you could have got at a restaurant, and that's what I'm trying to show you, that it's not that hard to make really delicious, elegant, and elevated dishes for yourself. So I hope that this channel can help build your confidence a little bit more at your home kitchen. I have to go clean this shirt. It's time for me to go. It's time for you to go. Thank you so much for being here again. This is Homemade, where I make everything in my kitchen. And thanks for being here. I'll see you guys next time.
Take it, photograph. Yes, photograph. Okay, this is huge, man.
It's massive. Oh. Here, David, this
Wow,
is for you.
get in there.
Wow. It makes me appreciate this more. I have like 15 stalks and I only need one for this, but now let's chop it up. Oh.